Are the parties ready to go on the record?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor.
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. This is cause number 1555100 and 1555101, State of Texas versus Warren Kenneth Paxton Jr. And it's my understanding that the state and the defense have come to an agreement in this case.
We have, Your Honor.
We have, Your Honor.
That's correct, Your Honor.
And that's to enter a pretrial intervention contract.
Yes,
It is, Your Honor.
Okay. And this case was filed quite some time ago, and by my count, I'm the fourth judge on this case. And when I inherited the case, I ensured that justice would no longer be delayed and set the case for trial on April 15th. And state, you understand that I have refused defense's attempts to get the case dismissed to this point by their own motion, and was ready and prepared to go to trial on April 15th.
The state understands that, Your Honor.
And no judge can force a prosecutor to present evidence or call witnesses. And so understanding that, you are waiving your right to a jury trial. The prosecutors in this case will not be going to trial on this case and are instead entering this pretrial diversion contract.
That is correct, Your Honor.
It is.
And defense, you are waiving any further speedy trial rights from this date forward, correct?
We are, yes, ma'am.
So if the contract is violated, you understand, both sides understand, that this court will be setting a very speedy trial.
The state understands that, Your Honor.
Defense?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And defense, you understand that this contract is not an agreement from this court. This court does not have any say in this contract, and instead the contract is purely an agreement between you and the prosecutors on this case.
We completely understand, Your Honor. Yes, ma'am.
And state, what are the terms of the agreement generally?
Your Honor, the terms of the agreement generally are that the defendant will be on an 18-month pretrial intervention agreement with the state of Texas. He will be required, among other things, to make full and complete restitution to the victims in this case, Byron Cook and the estate of the late Joel Hochberg. This defendant will be required to complete 100 hours of community service in Collin County, an entity or organization that Mr. Cogdell and I will agree upon, that this defendant will have to enroll in and take 15 hours of legal ethics as part of a continuing legal education course sponsored by the State Bar of Texas. In addition to that, which he performs as an attorney, and that he will agree to be supervised by Mr. Silverman and I by reporting, at least at this point, once every 60 days virtually.
And what is the total amount of restitution?
Your Honor, I can give the court the exact amounts, but I think we can agree that it's somewhere a little bit south of $300,000.
Okay. And Mr. Paxton, this is your signature on the state's contract?
Yes. Yes, it is.
Okay. Does either side have anything further that they'd like to put on the record?
Just to thank this court for its patience. Other than that, no, ma'am.
And again, to echo Mr. Cogdell's sentiments, what this court has done in 7 months far exceeds what has happened in the last 9 years, and the court and your staff will be commended, Your Honor.
Well, thank you both. And we'll be in recess on this case.
Yes, ma'am.
May be excused, Your Honor.
Yes, sir.
Behind us. This case has been pending longer than the Beatles were together. Literally. It's been 9 years, and today marks the end of what, in our opinion, should have happened a long time ago. That is, the state has made an offer, which we have accepted, to dismiss the case upon Mr. Paxton doing a few things. He is more than happy to comply with that agreement. At the end of the day, it is not a plea bargain. He didn't plead. There is no admission of guilt. There will never be an admission of guilt because he's not guilty. But we're glad to have this behind us. 18 months from now, or perhaps shorter, the case will be dismissed. There will never be a conviction, and Ken Paxton, at least today, can begin to go back and do what he should have been doing all along, and that is representing the state of Texas.
10 years ago, I was sworn in
as the Collin County Criminal District Attorney Pro Tem in this case, and the oath that I took is the oath that every prosecutor in Texas takes, which is that my primary duty is to seek justice and not to convict. I did everything and have done everything within my power to honor that oath to the people of the state of Texas in the face of some pretty personal attacks leveled against me by people in power in Collin County. At the end of the day, while I think the case could be made that justice was certainly delayed, I think the agreement that we've reached today underscores the fact that justice was not denied. To the victims in this case, to Mr. Paxton, and ultimately to the people of the state of Texas I've had the privilege of representing. The agreement that both sides reached today was not reached lightly. Since the agreement was prematurely revealed on Friday, both Mr. Silverman and I have been besieged by a torrent of phone calls, usually from blocked numbers, emails from accounts probably in Ukraine, from people who have expressed their monumental displeasure with the fact that these cases are being resolved with a pretrial intervention.
What do you hope Mr. Paxton learns in his legal ethics classes that you think he may need a refresher?
You know, that's a great question. I think with anybody, look, there's a reason why the state bar requires us to have 3 hours of legal ethics every year. And that's so we understand the fine line that distinguishes lawyers from grifters. And I think that the hours that he will take will reinstill in him the notion that lawyers are held to a standard of ethical conduct. That's why Jen and I have bar cards in our wallets. And that's why we're able to use our superhuman powers to represent citizens in this building who are accused of crime, sometimes unfairly, or as in this case, the people of the state of Texas.
Can you just confirm again the exact amount of money?
Wow. I think it's like $271,000. And there are a series of checks. One to Byron Cook for his IRA, one to his wife, Kay, for her IRA, one to their foundation, and then another check to the estate of the late Joel Hochberg through his widow and his son Mark is the executor of his estate.
When that's going to be paid?
Over again, beginning as soon as tomorrow or as belatedly as next September.
Brian, what is your hope for the federal investigation that's going on right now?
You know, I think Dan Cogdill put it succinctly. He doesn't talk to the feds and they don't talk to him. The sum total of my interchange with the Public Integrity Division of the U.S. Attorney's Office was an email that I sent asking them if their investigation was concluded so that we would be in a position to maybe make a particular offer that we were otherwise unable to make. And the prosecutor responded, "Thank you for your email. There's nothing I can share with you."